lifestyle. This is what I believed in, and it was connected to my faith. And so to see this update, I knew it. I already knew that it wasn't her in the video. And I want to say this because Karen is not lying about having known this information and choosing not to disclose it publicly. I thought it was peculiar when she shared it with me. And the way she shared it with me, I thought it was very peculiar. It was different, but you have to respect the wishes of the family in these predicaments. And if you guys paid attention, then you knew that it was very much so a very difficult space, because I had just come off of the Kanika Jenkins case. There was all of this rumor and gossip going across the country about my intention. People always want to talk about intention seeking and be negative and try to send messages to Karen that I couldn't be trusted, or that there was some money on the other end of it. It was a lot of bullshit that was connected to that side. And then you go on the other side of this and you got a very charismatic, loud, strong-willed father who was on the opposing view and perspective of a quiet, very apprehensive mom and a family that is just colorful in every sense of the word. And it was the most difficult balancing act I'd had in advocating or trying to do anything. And I was brought on by some girl who knew the father, and the father asked me to stand with him as a representative advocate to help him find his daughter. And that's how I got involved in that case. But what I'm trying to say today is that when I finally was allowed to talk to mom, and I was finally allowed to start trying to get a joint connected effort, Karen had already shared with me that the video, because you gotta go to, you got to use all of the available information to you when you're trying to recover somebody that's lost, missing, and all the other stuff. And so we just literally tried to go over all of the details as much as we can. And so she ain't lying saying I already knew this and I didn't disclose it. She did it in a very tight-lipped way. She told the people who were intimately connected. But I didn't know that until pretty much halfway through trying to search for her, because mom and dad were not on the same page, and it was very difficult to try to get them to even communicate. But like I said, she shared that with me. Now, I didn't know that the police had told her not to say that, because the first thing that I would say, well, then that's a goddamn bargaining chip, because if the police are going to tell you to go on fucking television or deal with an advocate and and not tell your family or not tell the public, if they going to tell you some shit and then say don't tell, first of all, what kind of half-witted ass detective is that will tell you, come on, man? What kind of half-witted ass detective would tell a mother whose child is missing that I want you to deceptively handle people as it relates to the facts of the case, versus the typical answer, which is don't say shit. Just don't say nothing. So I want to know what crazy ass detective. But then number two, I didn't know that, because I would have been all over that damn police department. I would have been in 5th district and every other district downtown, the headquarters, and I would have been going ham. Well, since y'all want her to be since y'all don't want her to tell the public, which keeps the shit alive, then y'all better give us something to give us some kind of confidence. Y'all better give us something more. And that's what I'm upset. Y'all don't, the anger is because, we had a very limited amount of time to try to find this young woman with a baby. So we were even working even harder around the clock. I just remember the shit. I remember the weather conditions. I just remember it being nighttime. I remember when everybody left, we still was going out there. I remember passing out flyers in the fucking cold. And I remember how people were passionate about it, coming in for our doing that. Sitting up all night and all day. A lot of stuff we didn't put on the internet because of what happened in Rosemont. I just remember it. And you mean to tell me we sit up here walking around, it was like with chickens with our goddamn heads cut off, and there was so much more targeted and directed fighting that we could have done. Man, that just it just grinds my gears, as they would say. And I'm just thinking like, dude, if the police tell me, hell no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm not disrespecting or coming at anybody. Like I said, I knew that was not her on the video. I did not know that the Chicago Police Department had told her to not tell that information. I thought that was a personal choice. And Karen held that well. If that was a personal choice, she carried it well, because she never said to me the detectives didn't want us to share. She said that's not my daughter, and she gave us the scenario of who they thought that was, and we tried to put the pieces together from there. But however, I was confused because I was still told that her car was down the street at the end of the block, and it was found with a cell phone and some keys and some other shit. And so that's the only thing that we had. And then we had to try to canvass that area to try to find out if anybody had a camera that was in that immediate area, on their crib, on the building. And I found it particularly interesting that nobody would help me when we were doing it to find any cameras and get the video footage from those cameras. I thought that shit was strange. I remember calling the police, the detectives, and saying, look, I need y'all to come out here and canvass with me to see all the cameras. But if y'all done that already, can y'all tell us anything about the video footage that would give us any kind of hope or glimmer or anything, or come out and do it? And nobody would do it. And I said that was the strangest shit I'd ever seen, because I've been dealing with Chicago police so much in the stuff that they typically would be a little bit more responsible for that. And so anyway, that was a bargaining tool that could have been used with the police department to say, hey, that if we got to take this position, then y'all better give us an understanding of why you're taking this position. It could be maybe y'all don't want them to know that y'all own something, or maybe y'all don't want to. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry, I'm sorry for curse. I don't get it right now, and I don't even deserve an answer. I'm just expressing myself, and this is my Facebook page. I can do that, and you don't have to watch it or anything, but I can come on here and support it just like every goddamn body else. And I could do it as a man who put his shit on the line and was right there on the ground trying to find this girl as fast and as best we can. Now so that's the one problem. So that's my position on that. Now that it has come out, I'm not in Chicago anymore. I pray to God that somebody got the balls, somebody got the heartbeat, and somebody got the fight and tenacity to find out who the hell the detective is who told this mother to do that or to have that information. Somebody need to go, and I'm talking about, I'm like dead ass serious. Y'all need to go to the police department and y'all need to demand. Why the hell would y'all say something like that? Admit it if you did or if you didn't, because then that means that you all would have a parent out here looking whole foolish, and your ass ain't gonna be standing up. They wasn't standing up or at that news press conference saying nothing about how they led that investigation. And then y'all need to tell them. So then what the hell do you have? Because if you knew that wasn't her, listen to what I'm saying. If you knew that wasn't her, and you told the mama that it wasn't her, and that she should not publicly disclose that information, then that means that you have something that gives you a confidence about who Keara Coles is, how she looks, how she operates, or where the hell she's at. Did you catch that? So somebody needs to now go to the police department, and y'all need to dance on their damn heads about that information. Now, the next thing, and they need to be held accountable, because parents don't know what to do when these things come and it's unexpected. Now, the next thing that really upsets me is I'm reading this and I'm saying, okay, like I said, I already knew that. I get it. It was a personal choice. However she decided to do it, that's how she decided to do it. That's her daughter. I can't judge. Everybody agrees. Everybody processes things differently, right? But here's my problem. I never knew at no point in the whole time that we were dealing with this case something that is extremely important. And so you mean to tell me that while the wrong video is showing on national fucking television and everybody is getting an image of a girl that is not Keara Cole, there was in an investigation conducted by the United States Postal Service inspectors, there was 300 plus tips by which none of them was shared or articulated. Fine, that's what they do sometimes. But the problem with it is that you telling me that there were not one, but it was actually 2 videos that surfaced that actually showed Keara Coles in the last and the final moments of her being seen, and nobody in all of them fucking updates knew that? And if they did, why wasn't we working from those standpoints versus the standpoint of a video of a person that ain't even associated in no shape, form, or fashion? And I feel so angry because one of these videos allegedly shows Keara Coles having left fucking work. God, I can't stop cursing. Y'all just got to forgive me. A video shows her and Josh, who is the alleged baby fucking father, get into 2 separate vehicles and go to an ATM machine. And she, on her own reconnaissance, take money out of the ATM machine and hands it over to Josh. Nobody thought it was important to tell us that while we getting death threats, while we send up the run. Now that is what I'm upset about beyond any and everything else. 2 videos. Police ain't out there canvassing outside of doing interviews and all that other shit. They weren't out there 24/7 organizing people and dealing with all kind of bullshit and drama in the background. They wasn't out there in all kind of inclement weather